refresh your memory with this clip.
Has Epstein's list, they're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
What just happened inside that congressional hearing was explosive. Kash Patel, the same man who once accused the FBI of protecting Jeffrey Epstein, is now sitting in the hot seat himself, facing accusations of hiding the truth. Lawmakers demanded answers, the tension was off the charts, and what came out might change everything you thought you knew about the Epstein case. If you believe the American people deserve full transparency, no matter who it exposes, hit that like button right now, subscribe to Freedom Pulse Media, and turn on the bell so you don't miss our next breakdown. We're cutting through the noise, holding the powerful accountable, and telling the stories others won't touch.
Director Patel, before you joined the FBI, you railed against it for covering up Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. Let me refresh your memory with this clip.
Has Epstein's list, they're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished that December 2023 interview with a challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public. You can see this clip.
Boy pants, and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are, you said. You emphasized that the president and FBI director each had complete authority to release Epstein's client list. You said Epstein's black book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. Look at this clip.
This is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
black book?
Black book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
All right, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the black book is under your direct control. So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there,
That's
the Black
exactly
Book
what I
under
was
the direct control of the FBI director.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material, and they never did. And if you are selling the men and women of the FBI,
Why
we're not going after child predators. Hang on, you said we're not going after child predators. 1,500 child predators arrested this year, 35% increase,
I'll reclaim my time.
4,700 child victims
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to
found.
reclaim my time if you could instruct the witness. Why have you changed your position? There you were saying it's under the direct control of the FBI director and all of it should be released. Why have you changed your position?
Everything that has been lawfully permitted to be released has been released. And as I told you,
Really?
the investigation was limited. And let me make something crystal clear. I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic other people, other women, and they're not other victims. This is the investigation we were given from 2006, 7, and 8, and the search warrants from 2006, 7, and 8. That's what we're working with.
Well, wait, have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house? The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to
Which
release.
court are you talking about?
3 separate federal courts have come in and said...
We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those courts have.
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait,
do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No,
to
I want you to
satisfy
follow your own
curiosity?
word, Director Patel. You said up there it was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the black book.
Everything I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
Complete your sentence. Everything you have direct control over, you said.
Have gone to court, and everything we have direct control
Patel,
over.
Complete your sentence. You said
lawfully
everything.
Release. We're releasing.
He'd like to complete his answer.
You began the sentence, everything you have direct control over, and then you stopped that sentence. You've released everything that you have direct control over?
And I have direct control over and can lawfully release. If you're not familiar with the court orders, that's not my fault.
Oh, I'm
Go
perfectly,
look at them.
I'm perfectly familiar
court.
with them. But how did we prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was prosecuted with the investigatory material that was collected from 2001 and 2005 because of the non-prosecution agreements and the court orders on the investigations and search warrants. We were not able to develop new information. And oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein was out for 12 years, and the Obama and Biden administration did nothing to look at his work, his pedophile network. If you want to blame me, that's fine. But now you're blaming the men and women who conducted this
stop
great
that.
search.
I'm not blaming anybody other than you. You're not keeping your word. You said that you would release all of the materials under your direct control.
Has anyone released more information on Epstein than I have? Has anyone?
Much more.
Did Comey? Did Ray?
Much more.
Did they?
Excuse me. Much more has come out in the days since the American people in Congress have been demanding it, but it's coming out in dribs and drabs. Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
I literally just told you, there are multiple federal court orders. I'm not going to break the law to satisfy your curiosity. You didn't join us when we filed court to release the court orders. You could have. You have lawyers. You could have shown up. You didn't do that.
That's a tiny fraction of the material we're talking about.
That is not.
It is a tiny fraction.
How do you know that? Have you seen everything?
It's all misdirection.
How do you know
Time
that?
of the gentleman has expired.
Mr. Patel, does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
It's not a complicated question. Does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I didn't say it was a complicated question. I just didn't hear you, so my apologies. We have released where President Trump's name's in the Epstein files and everybody else, and all credible information that we are legally allowed to release has been released.
All right, so let's go through that. You're referring to court orders that prohibit you from releasing grand jury testimony under Rule 6E. Is that what you're referring to when you say as the law allows?
That's a piece of it.
Really? What other evidence do those three court orders you cited prohibit from being released?
Information that was collected pursuant to those search warrants that were limited in fashion.
Wrong. That's not what the court order says, and that's not under 6E.
And you're talking, and I said that's 6E, and I said there was others, and I'm answering that. There are sealed court order documents. There are protective orders. From
they are unsealed as part of discovery given to Ghislaine Maxwell. They are no longer sealed.
That's just not true. We can argue about it all you want.
Okay, well, you agree that there are, so your testimony here is that the reason why you are not releasing all of the videos that you have acknowledged, there are so many, and that the FBI spent thousands of hours of reviewing, the photographs, the photographs that you have. You're saying that you're not releasing those because there's a court order requiring them to be sealed? Is that your testimony?
Never said that about the videos. On the totality of the videos, of the thousands of images that were seized pursuant to the search warrants executed at the time, the overwhelming majority of that video is pornographic material that was downloaded from the internet and child sexual abuse material. We will never release that.
Well, as you should not release the victims, but if there are videos that relate to others who Epstein trafficked to, such as maybe Prince Andrew, or photographs, that you have total control to release.
Yes, and if it exists.
And so why haven't you released it?
Why are you supposing that that is a fact when in fact it is false? Are you saying that
You're saying that none of the videos relate to anything relevant to the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking ring?
Every single video that we have collected pursuant to the prior search warrants has been examined for the last 10 years. And every single video has been utilized for whatever prosecutions were able to be legally brought.
I'm not asking about prosecutions. I'm asking about why you...
This is Freedom Pulse Media, and today we're diving into a congressional hearing that had the room on fire. FBI Director Kash Patel faced one of the most explosive interrogations in recent memory over the Epstein files, and the entire exchange raises deep questions about truth, justice, and who the system really protects. Before we break it down, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive. Let's start with the obvious. This hearing wasn't about politics, it was about accountability. Lawmakers demanded answers about why the FBI still hasn't released everything related to Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking network. They wanted to know what's really being kept under seal and who's being protected. And while some of these representatives clearly came in looking for a viral clip, others were genuinely pressing for transparency. Now here's where it got tense. Director Patel, who once slammed the FBI for protecting predators, was asked why he hasn't released the Black Book or the full Epstein files since taking charge. His defense? Court orders, federal restrictions, legal red tape. And yes, some of that is valid. Certain evidence, especially child abuse material, can't and shouldn't be public. But let's be honest here, this answer doesn't address the core issue. The American people deserve to know the truth about who enabled Epstein's crimes, not just vague references to court orders and sealed documents. The frustration you hear in that room? It's not just political theater. It's the sound of Americans, on both sides, sick of powerful people skating past accountability. Epstein didn't operate alone. He had connections, influence, and protection at the highest levels, spanning multiple administrations, Democrat and Republican alike. And that's exactly why this hearing matters. It's about the deep rut of privilege that shields the elite from justice. Some lawmakers pressed Patel on whether Donald Trump's name appears in the Epstein files. Patel confirmed it does, but quickly insisted there's no credible evidence linking him or anyone else to Epstein's crimes. Fair enough, but then why not let independent investigators verify that? Why not let the public see what can legally be shared, rather than cherry-picking what gets released? This is where the left-wing patriotic perspective comes in. Patriotism isn't blind loyalty to power, it's love of country strong enough to demand truth from it. And that means demanding transparency from every administration, no matter the party. Because if there's one thing we've learned from the Epstein saga, it's that the powerful protect their own. From the Obama years to the Trump era to the current administration, the establishment has closed ranks every time this case resurfaces. Director Patel insists the FBI has released more material than any administration before. Maybe that's true, but more isn't enough when the bar was already on the floor. Victims have waited decades for justice. The public has waited years for answers. And what we saw in that hearing wasn't justice. It was deflection dressed up as procedure. And let's talk about that safe found in Epstein's Manhattan mansion. Reports say it contained hundreds of Polaroids, lewd photos of underage girls, evidence of exploitation. The question that went unanswered: who were those girls and who were the men in those photos? The FBI has had that evidence since 2019. Why haven't we seen a single major name exposed or indicted from that collection? This isn't about partisanship, it's about principle. A left-wing patriot stands for justice that doesn't depend on power or privilege. We fight for the victims, not the elites. And we demand a government that works for the people, not the powerful. So when Kash Patel says he won't break the law to satisfy curiosity, that's fine, but no one's asking for gossip. We're asking for justice. Real, transparent, equal justice under the law. Because until every person who enabled Epstein's crimes is named and held accountable, the system remains broken. If you agree that the truth matters, if you believe that justice should apply to the rich and powerful just like it does to everyone else, then stay with us. Subscribe to Freedom Pulse Media, share this video, and keep the pressure on. Because the moment we stop demanding answers is the moment we accept corruption as normal, and that's something no patriot, left or right, should ever do.